Well, here we go again. Just another instance of left-wing violence. It's becoming normalized, of course. This just happened yesterday. Hunter Nadeau or Nadeau, I don't know, whatever. I don't care if I'm pronouncing it right. He deserves to have his name verbally all fucked up anyway. A 23-year-old former employee at Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua, New Hampshire, entered a wedding reception on Saturday night and fired a handgun, killing 59-year-old Robert Stephen DeCaesar and wounding 2 others. Witnesses reported Nadeau shouting "Free Palestine" before the shooting, but authorities stated the attack appeared targeted and isolated with no known connection between Nadeau and the victim. Guests subdued Nadeau by striking him with a chair and tackling him until police arrived. He faces second, not sure why it's second, but should be first degree, but second degree murder charges and remains in custody without bail. I say first degree because he obviously planned to go up there. He had a gun with him and started yelling "Free Palestine." It sounded premeditated to me, but maybe it wasn't, or they might upgrade it to first degree if they can determine that he targeted this Robert Stephen DeCaesar. But yeah, this just dropped an hour ago on the trending page for X on their trending articles. So, yep, happened again and yet again. The first one from U.S. Senator John Fetterman. This is the top post from this related incident. An individual shoots up a wedding screaming "Free Palestine." That doesn't sound like a right-winger, now does it, mainstream media? More political violence the day before Charlie Kirk's funeral. Just 4 months ago, another man screaming "Free Palestine" gunned down 2 Jewish staffers in Washington, D.C. And he added this from Fox News. Witness says New Hampshire Country Club shooter yelled "Free Palestine" during wedding violence. Obviously a left-winger. That's not a right-winger. Where's all the right-wing violence, mainstream media? Is it because, I don't know, maybe somehow you're covering for the right wing now, and that's why you're not reporting on all this right-wing violence, because now you're just, you're just taking cover for them in some weird, nonsensical, roundabout way? Is that what you're going to tell all your constituents, Democrats? That the mainstream media, they're just protecting, they're not talking about all this right-wing violence that's happening every 2 freaking days now. No, because that's happening on the left. As it keeps happening on the left. From Matt Walsh, this makes at least 3 politically motivated shootings by left-wing assailants in the past week and a half. We're averaging about 1 attack every 3 days. The left has declared war on the country. Yeah, it has. And it's probably just going to keep getting worse. Because just watch the last video that I posted with Jasmine Crockett and Chuck Schumer. They're not toning down the temperature at all. They're only ratcheting it up. It's just business as usual with them, calling Trump a fascist, Nazi dictator, and all that shit. I'm not making that up. That's literally what they were just saying. Earlier today, on Charlie Kirk's Memorial Day, when he was having his memorial service, they were over there on CNN, like not even an hour before the memorial started, talking about how Trump is he's a fascist and he's a dictator and he must be stopped. And yep, there you go. Anyway, from In Wokeness, breaking gunman who attacked the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua, New Hampshire, was shouting "Free Palestine." And we got one more from Captive Dreamer. So the guy who shot up that ABC 10 news station, which I also made a video about, I think it was probably yesterday, had previously posted about a race war started by Trump and it was just let out on bail. They fucking let him out on bail. Are you kidding me? So this guy showed up to ABC 10 news station in Sacramento, California, because he was all pissed off about Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled. So he took a gun and he fired a bunch of shots into the local ABC news station because I'm assuming Jimmy Kimmel's on ABC. I don't know. I don't ever watch Jimmy Kimmel. Never did, really. Never really cared for that. But yeah, I think it's obvious that it's ABC because they referenced the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel as to his motive as to why he did it. But they already let him out on bail. Fired shots, should have been charged with attempted murder, even though I don't think they did. They charged him with like reckless endangerment or something like that. But yeah, of course, it's in a blue state. Of course, the dude's been let out on bail. Anyway, from Lewis Schenker, free terrorist publicly declared a race war. How can anyone say this guy is safe enough to be allowed out in public pending trial? Yeah, I know. I don't know. But it was a state level crime. I mean, I know they're tagging AG Pam Bondi, but she's the one that's heading up all of the, the federal trials, the federal courts. She heads up the federal DOJ, and I think this is more of a California issue. But what do I know? Maybe it'll be related to something federal because, I don't know, he literally fired shots into a news station, and he's already out on bail. It's like, what the fuck? And this next one from Charles C.W. Cook. This story consists of 20 paragraphs, and at no point in any of them does NBC relate that the shooter shouted "Free Palestine." Of course not, because they're covering for the left, not for the right. They're covering for the left. On and on and on, over and over and over again. You don't see anything like this happening over on the right wing for some reason. It's almost as if we're on the side of peace and sanity, and it's the left who only wants to make things worse and more chaotic. Let's see. Before he opened fire, to find that out, I had to read the British left-wing newspaper, The Guardian, in order to find out that this person screamed "Free Palestine." So why, NBC, are you covering up for this person? Why are you covering up for the people who are screaming "Free Palestine"? I don't know. It's almost as if they have a political agenda. It's almost as if they're biased for some reason. Anyway, here, I'll link that if you want to check that out. Oh, didn't mean to open it in a new window, but that's all right. I'll just squeeze it on in there. Let me see what else we got. I know there's a, yeah, here we go. Here's a video in wokeness. All right, so that's the one from somebody up there screenshotted this, but here, let's give
get the sense that,
this a play.
that they knew who.
Didn't hear anything. He just came out and said.
What did you say?
Yeah, what he said was the children are safe and, you know, free Palestine.
Oh, so the guys on the news, what, Channel 7, I don't know if that's NBC or, I don't know, ABC or whatever, but dude, literally on the news, an eyewitness, he was at the wedding, still dressed up, still got his tie on. He said, well, I don't know, the guy just shouted, "Free Palestine." Did you hear that, NBC? I don't want to get it wrong. NBC News. I don't know if that's an NBC News affiliate. Honestly, I don't know. Not from New Hampshire. I'm not familiar with the numbers, with the Channel 7 up there.
That moment, like when you heard
that
the
was wild.
gunshots. At first, I didn't realize it was gunshots. It sounded like balloons.
Like
You know, we were at a festivity thinking, man, maybe somebody popped the balloon. But then you look around, we didn't have balloons. And then
probably because you had a pea shooter 22.
And then 4 right away. That's what I heard anyway.
Did people start running right away?
They ducked and covered and started.
I mean, what the fuck does this have to do with Free Palestine? I don't get it. What, a Jewish wedding, I'm assuming? I don't know. Anyway, in case you wondered why the mass shooting at the New Hampshire Country Club, mass shooting, what? Instantly disappeared from the news, it's because the shooter shouted "Free Palestine" before opening fire. Doesn't fit the narrative that globalizing the Antifada is going to be cute and fuzzy. Mass shooting. See, they keep saying mass shooting. Like, were there multiple people that were shot? Oh, wow. Hold on a minute. Mass casualty event with multiple people injured after a gunman shot an event attendees at Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua. Okay, that would be a mass shooting. It doesn't mean that 3 or more people have to be killed. I think, isn't that what they consider a mass shooting if 3 or more people end up being shot? Wow, man. Holy shit, man. What a fucking monster. Marina Medvin, mass shooting in New Hampshire. The terrorist yelled "Free Palestine" and then committed terrorism. Obviously, at least 3 people were taken to Southern New Hampshire Medical Center by a bearcat. Wow, man. One man was reportedly shot in the face. The country club was hosting a function and people were also eating at Prime Restaurant when the gunman entered the facility and began shooting people. A witness reported one of the men yelled "Free Palestine" before firing upon the guests. I would be curious to know what his outfit said. If he was wearing a graphic t-shirt or if he had anything like spray painted on his back or some shit, 'cause you know how sometimes they do that. I would be curious to know that. A leftist shot up a country club in New Hampshire. Who's sick of these fuckers? I am, for one. I mean, I think everybody is at this point. Of course, the mainstream media, they're not going to report on this because it's only going to make them look worse and worse because they just keep ratcheting up the violent rhetoric. That's what they keep doing. They keep calling... I honestly, I'm not sure exactly what they're calling Jewish people. I mean, you can use your imagination. Probably a lot of stuff I can't even say on YouTube anyway. They're not too pleased with Jewish people because of the whole Palestine whatever. And I mean, conservatives, that goes without saying. So, but yeah, they have no intention on ratcheting down the rhetoric at all now, do they? Charles C.W. Cook, they've updated this, adding 6 new okay, yeah. Okay, hold on. Adding 6 new paragraphs, but without appending a note or acknowledging it anywhere. Oh, okay. So should I actually go through it? Here, I'll just do it the quick way. So, Palestine. Well, it says right there, dude. Although he does say that they updated it. Hold on. September 20th, 9:50 p.m. Okay, hold on. Updated September 21st at 2:45 p.m. So when did he drop that most recent one? 5 hours ago. So that was at 4:21 p.m. Okay. So this first one, yeah, 10:10 a.m. So yeah, they did update it at 2:45 p.m. this afternoon. So yeah, I bet that wasn't included in there. I bet he's absolutely right. Because it makes total sense. Because they're trying to cover for this asshole. They're trying to downplay it like, oh no, he wasn't a left wing or anything. He was just a crazed gunman. Oh, dude, these days, pretty much and that's how normalized that this left wing violence is going to get. Anybody who gets shot by anybody in public, even if the dude wasn't a leftist and he shot somebody, that's just what everybody's just going to assume. And it might get to the point where if it bleeds, it leads will be a thing of the past. It'll be a relic of the past. The mainstream media, they're not going to talk about shootings ever again. And I guess that's good for Second Amendment absolutists. So now that the mainstream media is not going to keep, stepping up on their soapbox and screaming gun violence over and over again, because every time somebody seems to get shot these days happens to come from a left winger, which is very ironic. Really is ironic. Polymath, to be fair, his grandmother is a registered Republican, and as a kid, he watched Red Dawn, so it's going into our data set as right-wing violence. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. So free Palestine, I guess that's right-wing talk now, huh? Mass shooting in New Hampshire. Dude, it doesn't matter if they're a registered Republican or not. I've said that already about Charlie Kirk's shooter, that just about every leftist in America has Republican family members. It's because everybody's got family. It's just the way it is. Some people, especially in politics and family, you got a few people who are on the left, few people are on the right. It's totally normal. America's the melting pot. That's just the way it is. So let's see. A horror crazed gunman shouted "Free Palestine." Oh, is this the dude? Before opening fire and killing a guest at Sky Meadow Country Club wedding. Yeah, that dude totally looks like a right winger, doesn't it? Oh yeah, his grandmother's totally a Republican, which means that this dude's like an ultra Trump supporter, even though he's screaming "Free Palestine." So what is he? Is he trying to suggest that he didn't actually mean Free Palestine? He just went in there to just troll the mainstream media, I guess. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Will Chamberlain, can the left stop murdering people over politics, please? Absolutely. I've seen him on podcasts before. Bonji, left-wing violence is out of control. Every few hours, there's something new. Yep, that's the way it seems. Another leftist shooter attacks country club wedding in New Hampshire from Zero Edge. So we've got, looks like a mugshot. So here's the asshole right here. Let me just take a quick look here. Libs of TikTok, leftist yelling "Free Palestine," just shot up a country club in New Hampshire. 1 dead, multiple injured. These leftists are all violent psychopaths. So yeah, 23-year-old. Let's just see here. Oh my God, dude. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's the Catholic school. And that's just another instance, just the other week. The Catholic school where 18 other people were injured and 2 children were murdered by a transgender. I guess that kind of, this seems to stand out a little bit with regard to that this dude's not transgender. So, I mean, I don't see how that's in any way helpful, though. The dude still screamed "Free Palestine," fucking idiot. Yeah, that's not doing a whole lot to really help your cause, mainstream media. Democrats. This is why you stop using dangerous and violent political language on television, because people have lost their fucking minds at this point. Rep Rashida Tlaib, we ain't going anywhere. Now we're in Congress and we're in every corner of the United States. To every genocide enabler, look at these rooms. Motherfuckers, we ain't going anywhere. Okay. Let's see. All right, yeah, but that was terrible. Hold on, did she just say... No, she didn't say when this was. Was this, just last night, I'm assuming? I mean, they don't have a date on here. No, it says August 2025. All right, whatever. I'm not sure what the connection is with that to this, other than just the insane, psychopathic fucking language that they keep using. Oddly, what the shooter was shouting didn't manage to make this. Yeah, but... according to the article that we already looked at, they've updated it. Conveniently, they've updated it. Breaking multiple victims in mass shooting in New Hampshire. I mean, therefore I am. There's a heavy police presence at the scene with several emergency vehicles parked on a nearby street. Fire officials in the area have issued a shelter-in-place order for residents until further notice. Yep, it's crazy. Thank God, at least for me, living in the state of Florida, they didn't pass anything. The Supreme Court overturned the restriction against open carrying across the state. So coming this Thursday, in the state of Florida, you can open carry any firearm you damn well please. Yes, that does include handguns. It does include rifles and shotguns and whatever kind of guns you want to carry around. Open carry, no government permission. That's already been the case for concealed carry for at least a year now. I think it was July of 2024. where you don't have to have the government's permission to conceal carry in the state of Florida. Well, now it's conceal and open carry. So if you're worried about this left-wing violence shit that they keep engaging in, and if you just happen to live in the state of Florida, just go and buy a gun. You still might have to wait 3 days. I'm sure you will. You'll still have to wait 3 days for the background check and the ATF, the FBI, and all that. And you know, after, I think it's 3 days. Maybe it's 5 days, but I think it's 3 days. I don't know. So yeah, arm up, get your guns to protect yourselves, especially when you're out and about. I mean, shit's is getting crazy, man. Like they just targeted some random wedding, for fucking crying out loud. Active shooter, Sky Meadow Country Club, Nashua. I'd pull it up on the map, but I don't really see how it's relevant to this video. It's in New Hampshire. I mean, it might as well be in any part of New Hampshire. Shooter yelled "Free Palestine" before firing. One shooter, "Free Palestine," before firing upon Nashua Country Club event attendees. Not sure if I'll get really anything else. We're monitoring reports of a mass shooting at Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashua. This is a quick clip here. The police presence. Yep, just holding people back, holding up traffic. All right, well, that was in New Hampshire. Oh my gosh. All right. So there was that. I'm not sure if there's really going to be much other than that in his interview there. Here's another one.
We know that the 2 suspects, according to police, fled the area.
2?
We know those...
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Mass shooting at wedding reception, New Hampshire. So they're saying there's 2 suspects. The incident's been declared a mass casualty incident. Okay, well, they've definitely surely have updated that since this. When was this? 9:40 p.m. last night. Okay, yeah, they definitely have. 2 armed suspects fled the scene. Really? One has been arrested and the other remains at large and considered dangerous. So there is a second one? There really is. There's a second suspect, huh? I didn't see that. Hold on. Did they say that there were 2? Hold on a sec. Let's see. As guests panicked. Let's see. Turned out to be gunshots. Police arrested. Okay. There was no known connection. Okay. He was a former employee of the club. Autopsy is scheduled. 2 other adults were shot and wounded. I'm not seeing anything about a second gunman. Oh, wait, hold on. Nashua police initially said 2 shooters were involved, but later said that after reviewing security video, only 1 person appeared to have opened fire. So there was only 1. There wasn't 2. All right, well, glad I got that clarification.
We know that the 2 suspects, according to police, fled
Turns
the area.
out to be just 1.
We know those suspects are and were armed. Nashua police have confirmed one of the suspects has been detained and is in police custody. They do say that the other suspect is still at large. Again, we know that there have been
these
multiple
fucking leftists, man. Quit killing people. Stop killing people. You fucking leftists.
Right now, just on Splitbrook Road.
Mainstream media, stop inciting violence.
According to Nashua police, are considered
stop using insane language that's getting innocent Americans killed. Literally killed. Oh my God. Especially if you're living in a blue state, man. You're like a fucking sitting duck if you're in a blue state, because it's almost impossible to be lawfully allowed to carry a gun. And God forbid, if you ever have to use it, they're going to charge you with murder, even if you're fighting for your fucking life. Because that's just how they do it in blue states. Yeah, you like somebody could just come up right behind you, try to grab your gun from you. You wrestle around. You barely get control of your weapon while this person's trying to take your gun to shoot you with it. And then you just end up shooting them before they have a chance to kill you. And then you get arrested for murder. How you like them apples? Welcome to Blue States America. You are such a huge piece of shit, the Attorney General. The statements were meant to create chaos in the event. Formella said it's believed there's no hate motive in connection with this case. There's no hate motive. Okay, so Free Palestine, there's no hatred connected with that. I'm just, like, what I'm trying to figure out is, what does Free Palestine have to do with the wedding, other than him just wanting to send a generalized statement to the country or to the world or whatever? That's what I think it probably was. He just wanted to shoot a bunch of people while screaming Free Palestine just to raise awareness about Free Palestine while we're killing people. It doesn't matter we're killing people. It just matters that we spread the awareness about Palestine, as if, you know, as if most of the world hasn't heard of it already, which they have. I think everybody's quite well aware of what the fuck's going on in Palestine. It's nothing new. It's been going on for more than anybody's lifetimes who's alive to this day. Multiple people shot at a New Hampshire country club. Police say one suspect in custody, another at large. Yep, that's been updated. Probably won't get anything else other than this. I mean, we got the mugshot, we got an interview, a couple of on the ground points of view. There's some ambulances. Witness to the deadly attack at a wedding held at Nashua Country Club says he heard the shooter yell "Free Palestine." Associated Press reports. Man, I really don't want to expect another one of these anytime soon, but it seems pretty clear based on the most recent video I posted before this one that it's probably going to end up happening again and again, because that's just what they're doing in the mainstream media. They just keep ratcheting up this insane language, and they're not toning it down. They're not cooling it down. Nothing of the sort. They're just trying to make things worse and worse. Anyway, here it is. This is the video that I had just posted. Proof that CNN will never cool political violence rhetoric. Yeah, here it is.
Media
I'm not going to play it.
Posted a clip from CNN stated
shut up. All right. But yeah, on the day of Charlie Kirk's memorial service, CNN invites Rep. Jasmine Crockett, who explains why she thinks Charlie was a racist. They also had Senator Chuck Schumer, who called Trump a dictator and a threat to democracy. So yeah, you can check out that video. It's almost 20 minutes long, but I went over both of those interviews. One from Jasmine Crockett, and I think it was Chuck Schumer who was on right before her, but I played his after hers. So anyway, looks like that's all I'm going to get for this article. What a fucking piece of shit. What a scumbag. Hold on. Is there... We might have something else here.
Just pay that tab, getting ready to leave, and I heard...
All right.
Just pay that tab, getting ready to leave, and I heard pop. And there's a big wedding going on. I thought it was a balloon. Then all of a sudden, pop, pop, and I saw the guy with the gun. I got up immediately, hit him in the head.
Sounds like the same guy on the news.
Another guy tackled him. He's got a pretty good cut on his head. And when I hit him in the head with a chair, he dropped his gun and ran. The wedding
like some
was in a
WWE
room.
shit.
It was in a completely different room than where we were.
Good, I hope he shattered the fucking chair over his back.
And so once it happened, people from the wedding started coming out and saying, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" And it was nothing to do with the wedding. He just walked into the
everything to do with Palestine, though.
He shot one. There's 2 bullet casings in the hallway, and then he entered the restaurant.
Yeah, he's gonna kill innocent people because free Palestine.
Getting ready to leave, and I heard pop. And there's a big wedding going on. I thought it was a balloon. Then all of a sudden, pop, pop, and I saw the guy with the gun. I got up.
All right. I already heard it. I know it's going over again. But yeah, it looks like that's probably going to be it. Multiple people injured in shooting. So hopefully everybody pulls through okay. At least so far, it seems like only one person has passed away. So maybe everybody else is going to be all right. At least hopefully. But yeah, man, crazy. More left-wing violence. At this point, what else is new? That's all we see these days, violence-wise.